So on the thing of frauds and scams, we're in a period of an economic downturn. The number of people that are out there that are going to try to be frauding and scamming people, legitimate people with legitimate money, are going to go up. So as a community, I think if we're prepared for it, then hopefully the number of victims will be zero in our community. Really, that's the hope. So, second issue that I wanted to just discuss this week was avalanches. Going back to January, I believe it was the 6th, we had our major snowstorm for this year. 45 centimeters of snow dumped in about a 24-hour period. So as we all remember, we had our roads in Coffee Creek. There was some slides there that shut down that road. There was also the road to New Denver was shut down from a major landslide. So during these times, the first slide that we had over there was actually a vehicle that got caught in between two slides there. And what happened was those passengers got out of their vehicle and started to walk out of the slide area. And so I attended a debriefing meeting where the avalanche, I guess it was the avalanche advisors for the Department of Highways were there. And they gave me some tips for motorists who are involved in avalanches. And it was new information to me. I'm new to avalanche country as well. So I wanted to pass it on to you because the case certainly where the people exited their vehicle in Coffee Creek, as they were walking out of there, they actually had another slide come down just meters behind them that would have potentially killed them if they were just walking pedestrians on the road. So both avalanches that happened, and I'm even talking about the one Lardo, north of Lardo there. If you are in a vehicle and you are in an avalanche, and the avalanche is in front of you, okay, stay inside your vehicle. Every single vehicle, whether it be the Lardo slide or the Coffee Creek slide, the vehicles were virtually not, well, they weren't damaged, and the insides of the vehicle were the safest place for people to stay. Within 30 minutes of the slides being reported in Coffee Creek, there were avalanche crews there assessing the damage that was done and were able to care for people who had been inside their vehicles. So what I'm saying to you, if you were a person in that slide in Coffee Creek on January the 6th, within 30 minutes from the time the slide came down, you would have had trained personnel coming to your vehicle to help you get out and would have assessed whether or not that situation was safe for you to get out. There's a critical time after a slide in which another slide is actually of higher probability than if one comes down. Those minutes and even hours after are high risk for another one to come down in either the same location or within its vicinity, near vicinity. So, lesson learned here would be, don't leave your vehicle. If you're in a slide, stay inside your vehicle. That's the safest place for you. A vehicle is a metal box protecting you. Help will arrive. It will arrive. But if you get out of that vehicle in panic, the chances of you being swept away in a brush of snow and lumber potentially fatal for you. And those who have driven out to New Denver can see the amount of lumber and timber that came down off that road. The chances of survival are much greater inside your vehicle. If you happen to see that the avalanche has fallen behind you, they encourage you to slow down and drive sort of very slowly forward as long as that exists. So what I'm saying is, if you're driving slowly and you notice that a slide has come down behind you, you don't have to stop and stay in your vehicle. But slow your speed right down to a crawl so that you're not going to be swept off the highway from your speed going forward as well. And just very much proceed with caution. They tell you if you can, don't try and overtake a slide. So this is another common thing, especially with Coffee Creek. If you have a slide there, and there's maybe a space that you're thinking debatably might have enough room for you to drive by in your vehicle, that's a high risk thing, and they don't want you to do that. They would much rather you either, if you have the space to turn around and go back the other way and wait, or stay in your vehicle and wait, and someone will come and give you that expert advice. So we got lucky on these last bits because people were able to walk out. I will tell you, there was a few cases reported where people became frustrated because the avalanche gates went down. They parked their vehicle and decided to walk through the avalanche area. This is an offense under the Motor Vehicle Act. We will be charging everyone that does that in the future. If you are dumb enough to walk through an avalanche gate and get caught in an avalanche, that's one thing. But when you're risking the lives of innocent rescue personnel to come in and retrieve you because of your stupidity, that's where I have a problem, and so do they. So we are now, you know, the message is out. It's a zero tolerance policy. If you're one of these guys who thinks that you can just park your vehicle and walk through an avalanche area, I've instructed YRB to obtain your identity, your information, and we will be charging you for that because of the risk that you impose on everyone else. So that's dealing with avalanches, yeah.
So just one thing, so if you have a slide go in front of you, if it's safe enough to turn around and go back,
then they say you should, but you should do it at a very slow and controlled rate of speed. If you are stuck in between two avalanches, just stay there and stay inside your vehicle. That's the message. And I'll be honest with you, being new to an avalanche area, I wouldn't have thought that way either. I would have thought, let's get out of the critical zone, and if I had to do that on foot. So it was an education session for me as well. But the safest place for you is inside your vehicle, and the response time to get there was impressive. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about just goings on? We haven't talked, I think, since before Christmas.
Right.
How has it been here in Kaslo?
Well, we've we've just recently had a file where there was a rash of vandalisms downtown. I know that got quite a high profile. It was covered in the media locally as well. And you know, it just affected a lot of people in the community. I believe now the count is well above 15 vehicles that were damaged. We conducted an investigation. We identified 3 youth that were responsible for the damage. And so, you know, I can't name their names because of the Criminal Justice Act, yeah. But certainly what we've done is we've arrested these youth, and we're proceeding in different avenues with each different youth. But, you know, all I can say in that instance is that when you have 15 victims like that in a community like this, it is a community it's a community issue, and it affects a lot of people. I recognize that a deductible to get vandalism fixed on your vehicle is $300, and $300 times 15 is a lot of money, and money is valued more so today than it ever has been in the last few years. So there was a large degree of vigilance from the people that heard the ruckus going on. They certainly helped us out in our investigation. Looking back on it, if we could, as a community, we could do any lessons learned is certainly if you're hearing the noise and you're hearing destructive noise, a call to the police at the time helps us in our investigation. The police didn't actually become aware of the vandalism until the next morning at approximately 8 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, we provide a policing service, and if it is late at night, we will come out regardless whether we're working or we're on call. And if we're called out recently, the chances of us solving these types of things are greater than if we wait. So, and that's sort of the message. The other message, in this case, it wasn't insecured vehicles. They just went around kicking out the side mirrors, and so we're taking steps to address sort of the accountability of these youth. But you know, spring is on its way, summer's on its way. Lock your vehicles. Be aware that people, you know, might go into insecure vehicles and do these types of things. They're vandalisms that happen, but we do hope that these types of things are kept to a minimum. Certainly I can comment statistically, we don't have the occurrences of vandalism that, say, even per capita here, that the provincial average would identify to us. But